Hey guys, Catherine here with All Language Resources. Today we are looking at online courses and apps that help you learn Spanish. Every language learner needs a dictionary, okay? And Spanish dictionary is a very good option. From the very beginning, the app allows you to pick the vocab level that best suits you. Sometimes when an app just says beginner, intermediate, advanced, it's like, but what does that mean? And so they actually offer the number for you right there so you can see what that means. Not only does it make it very easy to find the words, whether you're searching for them in Spanish or in English, the voices that they use are quite clear. I think there are some times where it's a little robotic. On the dictionary part of it, it's pretty robotic, but in the flashcard, it's more natural, and I really like that. I found the flashcards on this app to be very engaging. I know a lot of times when someone is using a language learning app, they're not practicing their speaking. They're kind of just like pushing buttons and going through. So I like this audio input, and you guys really, you'll hear in some of my other videos, I don't always like the audio input on an app. Sometimes the audio input, it'll be like, please record this for us, and I will turn that app off. I really don't, I don't know why I don't respond well to that, but I don't like it that much. But in this app, I really enjoy this feature. Even though if you fudge the word, okay, if you don't get it 100%, if you say you like 75% accurate, it might still give you the go ahead, which is not really that good, but I think it still motivates you. It pushes you to speak, to practice opening your mouth and using the language. So it gets a thumbs up from me. Then there's Spanish Uncovered. Spanish Uncovered is very interesting to me because it's not just about learning Spanish. I think that the information that the creator and the various instructors offer you can help you learn any language. Really, there's a lot of language learning theory and philosophy involved in this program. So especially if you're an adult and you're struggling with the idea of being able to learn another language, you definitely want to check this one out. It might not be for everybody because there's a lot of English in this, and I tend to avoid a lot of spoken English, like in my native language. I don't want to hear my native language when I'm going for something else. I want to hear my target language. But if you need a little more guidance, a little more push, this is like guided practice for students who would like that. If you're learning Spanish, I really do think you should check this out, especially if you like more of a traditional classroom feel. Okay, so get your notebook ready and be prepared for the information that they have to share with you. I think it is really very insightful. Now, I really enjoyed this next one. Coffee Break Spanish is my kind of thing, but that's because I love podcasts, okay? First of all, I need to say that the app available in the App Store apparently is not related to this company. You know, sometimes that happens, like there's like a false app or something like this, and a lot of the reviews say that it's a scam. Please do not, I don't know, don't download that app, but definitely go to the website through your computer or phone and use Coffee Break Spanish there. This podcast is excellent. I'm a huge fan of any kind of program that allows you to hear two native speakers or near native speakers having a conversation in the language. I love that. Now, for those who are really turned off by hearing their native language when they're attempting to learn a second or third or fourth or 15th language, I don't know what you guys are, I don't know where you are, but this does include some English, okay? But it's not, to me, the kind that is very distracting. And so for me, even though I don't usually like to hear my native language when I am listening to a podcast or enrolled in a language course with a teacher, I think that this is a healthy amount of my native language in the instruction, okay? I don't think it's too much. I think it's like at just the right places and just the right amount. It's really nice being able to hear human voices. I love hearing human voices, which is why I'm really into podcasts. And Coffee Break Spanish just has so many cool programs, you know, and the transcripts. I'm big on that. The transcripts are great. You can download them. It's my cup of tea. Yeah, soak this one all in. They have so much to choose from. And I'm a big fan of podcasts, so this would be one of my number ones in this entire list. But once again, I'm biased. I like podcasts. News in Slow Spanish is another one I really enjoyed. I just love hearing a human voice. You're gonna win with me. Win. Anytime that I can come to your website or your app and just hear a human being, better yet, 2 or 3 human beings speaking this language together. News in Slow Spanish is easy to navigate. It's got lots of useful content. You can hover over words that you don't know or need a refresher on to see a definition. Now, one thing I would really like to highlight with News in Slow Spanish is that it's great for learning idioms. A lot of students don't find it necessary to learn idioms, but I really think that especially for Spanish idioms, this is a great one. Now, you're gonna hear idioms and learn idioms through some of the other websites and apps, but I just think that they're so easy to pinpoint with News in Slow Spanish. Now, for anyone who's already seen some of our other videos, you will know I am a huge fan of Memrise. Memrise is one of my favorite apps. I know I'm a little late to the game. I know that a lot of people have been using Memrise for a number of different subjects for years, but it's new for me, and as a language learner who is a bit visual, I like to be able to see the native speaker's mouth and really understand what they're doing with their body language as they're speaking. Memrise is my kind of thing. I also love flashcards, and as you might have heard in a previous video, I did not know that Memrise was a flashcard app when I first started playing with it. So if you like flashcards, but you also like kind of like gamified learning, Memrise is a great choice. Anki is one of those apps that's good not only for learning languages, but also a variety of subjects. I really like that you can create your own flashcards. I know a lot of people just really like having that creative control over their learning process. Okay, so you can create your own flashcards, or you can download decks that are user generated. All right, so other people learning the same thing that you are, that perhaps might already, be instructors in this particular subject or language. A lot of these flashcard decks include pictures, they include audio. Check it out. Do know that some of these decks are huge, okay, and will take some time to download and to activate on your phone, or whatever device you're using. Okay, so just be aware of that as you're searching for new decks. Spanish Pod 101 offers both audio and video content. I really enjoy the audio content, and I think that the audio content is a little more robust than the video content, even though the video content, it has so much potential. It actually looks really good, but I think it's more of very, very surface level kind of introductory material aimed towards drawing in customers and not so much for educational purposes. That's just, when I first started watching the videos, I was really excited about them because I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be great. But then it didn't quite go deep enough for me. Even though they look great and it has a lot of potential, I think that the video content is not really the draw of this particular site. Now we're gonna look at a few resources that are actually quite similar, and so you'll have to go through and kind of see which ones are best suited for your learning style. The first up is Babble. I think Babble is really good for students who have already learned some Spanish and are, in need of a refresher. Maybe it's been some years since you practiced, or you just need a little more in-depth detail about, especially the differences between European and Latin American Spanish. One thing about Babble though, you can definitely guess some of this stuff kind of based on just the beginning of the sentence, and so for people like myself, I tend to clock out if it doesn't demand my full attention. I do a lot better on sites like FluentU, sites that require my focus for the entire sentence, where I need to actually piece together word by word or letter by letter the different parts of speech. I know that some people don't respond well to this kind of app, so if there's typing is involved or word selection, that kind of thing might not be for you. But I just wanted to point out that for some people, this kind of app might be helpful, but for others like myself, it is not engaging enough, but it might be just the thing that you need. So check this one out. Fluencia is something that you can access on your computer or cell phone or a mobile device, but it's a website, okay? I think that this site is best suited for people who are new to learning the Spanish language, so people who would consider themselves beginners or maybe intermediate, lower intermediate students. I would recommend this for anybody who's just getting started. I think of all of the kind of beginner-oriented apps and websites, this one was one of my favorites. Lingoder is a fun little app. I think that this one is a good alternative to Duolingo if you're already using that one. I'm gonna say, you're gonna hear this in a lot of videos, guys, but I really don't like Duolingo, and I think that you would do better to find another app. Lingoder is one of those apps that if you like Duolingo but are looking for something slightly more serious, then this might be for you. Next up, we've got Busuu. What I like about Busuu is that you can choose between a Spanish language course and Spanish for travelers, right? You guys are gonna have some slightly different goals, and so I do like that they separate that out. I don't quite like the fact that part of this app you can guess what the answer is just by looking at the first couple of words. And so I think that this one will be really good for some people and maybe not so good for other learners. It's all up to you. So definitely try it and see if it's your kind of thing. And this last one is Duolingo. I think it's very popular because it's free, you know, and there's nothing wrong with having a free app. There are many great free apps out there. I personally don't think that Duolingo is a waste of time. You're gonna hear me, if we make 1,000 videos and Duolingo pops up in it, you're probably gonna hear me say 1,000 times, this is not one that I would recommend downloading. I think if you just need to complete some tasks in the language and you're kind of looking not to get too deep into the thing, then maybe Duolingo is for you. I usually only recommend this to my students who struggle with motivation in their language and really just need to complete some tasks. So I don't think it's really for people who are very serious about learning a language, even though you will find many serious language learning students using this app, I think because they're not aware of some, alternatives. If you like Duolingo, I think that style of, okay, we're focusing on a topic and now we're gonna move through some different things, then you can definitely check out Lingoder, because it's kind of a very similar thing, but better. That's it, okay? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for commenting below. We really love to read those. Don't forget to push that like button if you haven't already. And head on over to alllanguageresources.com, where you'll find plenty of other reviews to get you started on your language learning journey.